Math 8, Rational Expression. So we have our learning competency illustrating and simplifying rational algebraic expression. So algebraic expression containing variables that are written in fractional form of the form P over Q. P and Q are polynomials and the polynomial Q is not equal to 0 are called rational expression. So these are the examples of rational algebraic expression. We have a plus b over a minus b, 1 over w to the fifth power, 8k cubed minus 3k squared plus 2k plus 6 over 4k squared plus 5k, 49a squared bc over 21b to the fifth power. So lahat ng ating rational algebraic expressions are those expressions serve as polynomial. May mga variables tayong makikita sa ating numerator at sa ating denominator. So let's have the domain of rational expression. The denominator of the above expression should not be equal to 0 because any value assigned to the variable that results in a denominator of 0 will make the expression meaningless and must be excluded from the domain of the variable. So, paano yun? So, kapag ang value ng ating denominator ay naging 0, then our equations should be meaningless. Walang halaga. So what is the possible value of the variable m within our first given 13m over m plus 8 that will make our equation or expression be the denominator equal to 0. So we have 13m. Then check natin what is the possible value of this m. Sa denominator lang tayo mag-focus sa variable m, sa denominator m plus 8. Ano yung value na pwede nating ipalit sa letter m to make our denominator equal 0? So we have m plus 8. We have blank plus 8. So para maging 0, so pwede natin lagyan ng negative 8. We have negative 8 plus 8 is equals to 0. Then therefore, this value of m, negative 8, if the value of m is negative 8, then our expression is meaningless. So para sa ating domain, so m are the elements of real number where m is not equal to negative 8. Sa lahat ng numbers, pwede natin gamiting value ng ating variable m except yung negative 8. So pag ginamit natin ang negative 8, the result is equals to 0. Ibig sabihin, the denominator will become 0, kaya ang 8 natin will not be part of the domain. This is except negative 8. So m is any real number where m is not equal to negative 8. For number 2, so we have to factor out first our denominator. So, copy ko lang yung numerator, pero again, our focus is within the denominator. So, we have a squared minus a minus 12. So, pag nag-factor tayo, gamit tayo ng dalawang open and close parentheses. Ayan. So, start tayo with the sign of our C, letter C, yung 12. Since ang 12 natin is negative in sign, so we are going to use positive and negative sign within our factor. So ang sign ng ating letter C, atong 12 na to, siya magsasabi kung same sign or different sign ang gagamitin natin sa factor. If negative in sign ang ating letter C, then ang ating 12, itong constant na 12 pagka negative, we're going to use different sign within our factor. Next, what is the factor of 12? I-factor na natin yung 12. Dalawang number as we multiply, the answer is 12. And pag may minus natin, since negative yung nasa gitna, so we are going to use negative, we are going to use subtraction as our operation, and the greater value for our factor is at the negative sign. So the factor of 12 na pwedeng maging 1 pag sinubtract natin is 3 times 4. Then yung 4, ilagay natin dito sa negative sign. Since negative yung sign ng ating middle term, then the factor of a squared is a and a, which is a times a. Okay. So what is the factor? What is the value of our a this time na magiging 0 ang value ng ating denominator? So for a plus 3, ang value ng a na pwedeng maging value niya para maging 0 is negative 3. Since we have negative 3 plus 3 equals 0. So this would be 0 times the value of our a minus 4, understood, magiging 0 na din siya. Next, sa other side, if we are going to use a minus 4, this time the value of letter a is positive 4. If we have 4 minus 4, then the answer is 0. If this 0 is to be multiplied with the value of a plus 3, 0 pa din yung magiging denominator natin. So we come up with a equals to negative 3, first value ng a, and the second value of a is positive 4. So if we are going to state the domain of our rational expression number 2, we may able to use a as any real numbers, the element of real numbers, where a is not equal to negative 3 and 4. So this serves as the domain of our given number 2. So pag sinabi nating domain, lahat ng number, real numbers na pwede nating maging value sa ating variable a sa number 2. So except yung negative 3 and positive 4. Dahil nga magiging 0 ang ating denominator and our expressions will turn to meaningless. Okay, so this time we will proceed with simplifying rational algebraic expression. So ano yung mga prerequisite ng simplifying rational algebraic expression? So kailangan marunong tayong mag-factoring and dapat alam natin yung law of exponent. And syempre, yung pag lowest term, pag get ng mga factor ng ating variables at saka ng ating mga numerical values. Okay? So start tayo with our given number 1. So we have 12k squared over 6k. Okay, so start tayo. Basahin muna natin ng maayos yung ating given. So we have 12k squared divided by, the operation is divided by 6k. So let's start with 12. 12 divided by 6. So what is 12 divided by 6? So that the answer is 2. So pag binasa natin, maririnig natin sa sarili natin, so malalaman natin yung operations to be used. Ano? Next, k squared divided by k. So sa division, sa law of exponent, we have the quotient law, division, ang operation, pero ang exponent natin ay isusubtract. So this becomes 2 minus 1. So pag variable lang, understood siya ay merong exponent na 1 na hindi naman sinusulat. So we have 2 minus 1, then therefore, this becomes k to the 1 power. Okay, so hindi na kailangan isulat ang 1, understood na yan. So this would be the answer for given number 1. For number 2. So basahin ulit natin. We have 12a squared b to the 5th power divided by negative 48a cubed b squared. So check natin yung ating 12 and negative 48. So hindi natin siya may-divide. Ang ating 12 ay hindi kayang i-divide sa 48. So negative 48. Since the denominator, yung denominator na 48, mas malaki siya sa 12. So what we are going to do is make use of factor. Ano yung common factor? Ang greatest common factor ng 12 and 48. Ibig sabihin, hanap tayo ng number na kayang i-divide si 12 and 48. So pwede natin gamitin doon ay 12. So pag dinivide natin yung 12 by 12, so gamitan natin ng divisor. So 12 ang highest or greatest common factor ng 12 and 48. Kaya 12 ang gamitin natin divisor. Common divisor. So dapat common. So pwede natin i-divide sa 2, sa 6, sa 4, pero sa 3, pero kailangan highest possible value na yung gamitin natin para hindi tayo magpaulit-ulit ng division. So we have 12 divided by 12, the answer is 1. Then 48 divided by 12, the answer is negative 4. So this is the simplest form of 12 over negative 48. Then for a squared over a cubed, so again, division tayo. So isubtract natin, we have 2 minus 3. So the answer is negative 1. So yung 3 natin nasa denominator. So sa denominator natin, isusulat yung letter A. A to the first power. Next, B to the 5th power divided by B squared. So subtract natin 5 minus 2. The answer is 3. Positive yung exponent kaya sa taas. B cube. Susulat natin. Then sa letter A natin, a squared minus a squared divided by a cubed. So we have 2 minus 3. The answer is negative 1. Pag negative yung exponent, isusulat natin sa denominator. Para ang maging expression niya ay positive. So let's have our final answer for number 2. 1b cubed, simply b cubed na lang siya. Hindi na natin kailangan isulat ang 1 over negative 4a. So this would be the simplest form of our given number 2. Next, for number 3, we have 6 times the quantity b plus 5 divided by 18 times the quantity b plus 5. So hindi natin kailangan i-distribute yung ating 6 and 18. Since ang ginagawa naman natin ay simplifying, ibig sabihin, pinapactor nga natin, kaya hindi na tayo dapat mag-multiply. So, makikita natin b plus 5 over b plus 5. Pag dinivide natin siya, pwede na natin siya i-cancel, so mawawala na yung ating b plus 5. So, pag may common terms, sa numerator at sa denominator, pwede na natin siyang i-cancel. So, yung b plus 5 over b plus 5, pareho sila. So, understood, one term lang naman siya kasi may open and close parenthesis. So, pwede na natin siya i-cancel kasi common term sila. So, isi-simplify na lang natin is 6 and 18. So, i-lowest term lang natin yung 6 and 18. So, the greatest common factor to be used na kayang i-divide si 6 and 18 is 6. So, 6 na lang. So, pwede nyo naman hindi na isulat yung divided by 6 over 6. So, we have the lowest term of 6 and 18 is 1 over 3. So, this serves as our final answer. So, ito yung mga final answer natin. Lagyan ko ng circle. Okay, next, number 4. We have 12x squared minus 9 divided by 3. So, pwede natin i-separate yung ating terms sa numerator. Pwede namang gawin natin 12x squared over 3 or divided by 3 minus 9 over 3 or divided by 3. So, pwede natin i-separate yung ating numerator, yung ating first term, 12x squared, and the second term, 9. So, may minus sign lang sa gitna. Okay. So, this is called similar fraction. Kaya pag ini-add natin, kakopyahin lang natin ang denominator and i-add or susubtract natin yung numerator. Okay? So, kaya wala tayong problem kung i-separate natin yung denominator. Ang numerator natin, dalawang term, kaya nagkaroon tayo ng ganitong expression. So, simplify na natin. We have 12 divided by 3. The answer is 4x squared. Kopyahin nyo lang yung x squared kasi wala namang x sa denominator natin. Then, minus 3 divided by 9 divided by 3. The answer is 3. So, ito na yung ating answer. Ito na yung simplest form niya. So, pwede din naman gumamit tayo ng factoring. So, I'm giving you another way to solve yung given number 4. Pag pinactor natin yung 12 and 9, common factor ng 12 and 9 ay 3. So, maglalabas tayo ng 3. Then, sa loob ng parenthesis, as factor, magkakaroon tayo ng 4x squared minus 3. So, kung ipapactor natin yung numerator na 12x squared minus 9, meron tayong factor na 3 times 4x squared minus 3. Then, the denominator 3. So, pwede din natin siyang i-cancel. So, we will come up with the same answer. Okay? Next, number 5. 2m minus 6. So, may hanap tayo ng common factor. Ano yung factor na mabubuo? As we multiply, we will have a product of 2m minus 6. So, sa 2 and 6 tayo kumuha ng factor. Common factor ng 2 and 6 is 2, then times, we have m minus 3. So, ito yung factor ng 2 and 6. So, divisible siya by 2. Ang 2 at saka 6 kaya i-divide ng 2. Kaya ginamit natin 2 as our common factor for 2 and 6. Then, tinanggal na natin yung 2. Nilagay natin sa labas ng parenthesis. So, as we divide 2m divided by 2, the answer is m. Then, 6 divided by 2, the answer is 3. Kaya ito yung naging factor natin. For the denominator, anong number ang kayang i-divide ang 5 and 15? So, the answer is 5. So, 5 ang gawin natin, lagay natin dito. So, sa loob ng parenthesis na matitira ngayon, We have 5m divided by 5. So, m na lang ang sagot. Minus 15 divided by 5. The answer is 3. So, ito yung factor niya. So, common factor, m minus 3 and m minus 3. So, ika-cancel na natin yung common factor nilang dalawa. Yeah. Then, the answer is 2 over 5. So, math galing. So, let's have an additional example in simplifying algebraic expression. So, the given direction is write each expression in lowest terms. So, magsisimplify lang din tayo. Okay, so our given number 1, 4a squared minus b squared divided by 2a plus b. So, ating term na, yung ating numerator, 4a squared minus b squared, so gagamitan natin siya ng x squared minus y squared the factor is x plus y and x minus y. So this serves as our pattern. So gawa tayo ng dalawang open and close parentheses. So this is under sum and difference of two binomial. So yung ating 4a squared minus b squared is a product of sum and difference of two binomial. So magkakaroon tayo ng plus sign and minus sign. Then factor natin yung first term, 4a squared, magiging 2a. And then factor ng b squared ay letter b. So kokopyahin lang natin yan sa kabilang factor. Magkaiba lang sila ng middle ng sign sa gitna. Yan. So ito na yung factor based on our pattern. Over or divided by 2a plus b. So yung magkaparehong factor o terms natin sa numerator and denominator, ika-cancel na natin siya. Yan. So ang final answer natin dito ay 2a minus b. For number 2, again, m squared, may squared, so automatic, gagawa tayo ng dalawang open and close parentheses. So yung squared natin, product siya ng binomial. Kasi trinomial yung terms natin, magiging dalawang binomial. Product siya ng dalawang binomial. Same din sa ating denominator. Gawa muna tayo ng dalawang open and close parentheses. Yan. So, factor na natin si m squared minus 4m plus 4. Again, tingnan nyo muna anong sign ng ating last term. Positive. Pag positive yung sign ng last term, sinasabi niya na same sign ang gagamitin natin sa ating dalawang binomial. Same sign. Ngayon, ano yung sign na gagamitin natin? That is the sign of the middle term. Negative sign yung nasa gitna, kaya dalawang negative sign ang gagamitin natin sa ating factor. Again, kaya siya naging pareho because of the positive sign ng ating last term and parehong negative sign dahil nasa middle term natin ang sign ay negative. So the factor of m squared is m times m. Then factor natin yung 4 na pag pinag-add natin yung sagot, na factor natin ang 4. Yung factor ng 4, pag pinag-add or pinag-plus, the answer is 4. Automatic negative siya kasi yung negative sign na nasa gitna. So that would be 2 times 2 equals 4. And sa FOIL method, pwede natin i-check. We have 2m plus negative 2m o negative 2m plus negative 2m. Kakaroon tayo ng negative 4m. So, ito yung ating factor. Next, sa denominator natin, m squared plus m minus 6. Negative this time ang ating last term. Negative. Pag negative, gagamit tayo ng different sign sa ating factor. Automatic, isa ay plus, isa ay minus, or positive and negative. The factor of m squared is m times m. And the factor of 6, ngayon, this time, dahil negative siya, isusubtract natin. Pag sinubtract natin yung factor ng 6, dapat ang sagot ay positive 1. So, the factor is 3 times 2. Since ang 3 minus 2, the answer is 1. Ayan. So, ngayon, we have two numerator. Sa numerator natin, we have 2 yung ating m minus 2. Dalawa yung ating m minus 2. Sa baba, meron tayong isang m minus 2. So, isa lang yung ika-cancel natin sa taas since isa lang din yung nasa baba. Ayan. So, magiging final answer natin dito is m minus 2 over m plus 3. So, ito na yung ating lowest term. At galing. Next, number 3. So, same lang din yung procedure na gagawin natin. Magawa tayo ng dalawang open and close parenthesis. Sa numerator at sa denominator. Then, factor na natin. Again, negative ang sign ng ating last term. Anong sign ng factor? So, isa ay positive, isa ay negative. So, factor ng a squared ay a times a. Yung factor naman ng 6, pag minus daw, negative 1 ang sagot. So, automatic, dahil negative yun nasa middle term, yung malaking number sa factor natin sa 6 ang lalagay natin sa negative sign, which is 3 times 2. Para maging negative 1 ang sagot, so negative 3. Ang 3 ang ilalagay natin sa negative sign. Sa denominator, negative ulit ang 12, kaya isang plus, isang minus. So, isusubtract natin yung factor ng 12, dapat maging positive 1 naman ang sagot. Ano yung factor ng 12? 6 times 2, 12 times 1, 4 times 3. So, ang pwede doon, pag minus, magiging 1 ang sagot ay 4 times 3. So, ilagay natin yung 4 dito sa plus sign kasi kailangan natin positive 1 ang sagot pag sinubtract natin. Meron tayong 4 minus 3, the answer is positive 1. Yun na yung ating middle term. So, lagyan lang natin ito ng a and a. Then, cancel natin si a minus 3. So, this would be the final answer. A plus 2 over a plus 4. So, kayang-kaya nyo to mga bata. Yan. Next. Okay, gawa ulit tayo ng open and close parenthesis. Okay, again, negative ulit ang ating last term. So, isang plus at isang minus. Next, factor natin yung 4. That is 4 times 1 or 2 times 2. So, ano ngayon sa factor niya ang magiging 3 ang sagot pag sinubtract natin? So, yun ay 4 times 1. Kasi 4 minus 1, magiging sagot ay positive 3. So, lagyan natin ng x sa unahan as factor ng x squared. Then, sa denominator, dalawang parenthesis pa rin gagamitin natin. Yan. Negative ulit ang ating last term. So, isang plus sign, isang minus sign. Factor ng x squared ay x. Factor ng 1 na magiging 0, kaya siya walang middle term, kaya dalawa lang, kasi 0 yung middle term niya. So, factor ng 1 ay 1 times 1. Pag sinubtract natin, 0, wala ng middle term. Kaya 2 terms lang ang nasa ating given. So, cancel natin ang x minus 1. So, yung matitira, that would be the answer. X plus 4 over x plus 1. Okay? Less. Gawa ulit tayo ng open and close parenthesis. Yan. So, this time, yung ating first term is not equal to 1. Yung numerical coefficient ng n squared ay hindi 1. So, after na open and close parenthesis. Okay, so ang factor natin, again, negative ulit ito. Last term, kaya lagay tayo ng plus sign, and minus sign. So, erase ko lang ito dalawa. So, lagay ko sa gitna. Okay, so plus sign na nasa gitna. So, kaya yung middle term natin ay plus sign, positive sign. So, dito sa ating positive yung factor ng malaki sa 9. Pero yung 9 natin, pag pinactor natin siya ay 3 times 3 lang siya. 3 times 3 and 9 times 1. So, yun lang naman yung factor ng 9. So, dito ay positive 3, isang negative 3. Next, sa 8n natin, yung factor natin, pwede natin gamitin ay 4n at isang 2n. So, check natin yung answer natin sa gitna. If we're going to use FOIL method, we have 3 times 2, and that is 6n, minus 12, that is 4n times 3 is 12n. Okay? So, magiging sagot doon ay 6 minus 12. The answer is negative 6n. So, kailangan natin positive. So, therefore, pagpalitin natin yung sign. So, dito ang minus, dito ang positive. So, check natin. 3 times 2n, we have negative 6n. Then, yung isa ay 4n times 3 is positive 12n minus 6n. So, positive 6n na. So, ito yung tamang factor. Okay. Sa baba, again, negative yung ating 9, kaya isang plus, isang minus. Then, factor natin yung 9, that would be 3 and 3. Factor natin yung 16, since walang term sa gitna siya, walang middle term, so therefore, pareho lang yung factor na gagamitin natin. So that would be 4n and 4n. Then, cancel na natin yung common sa numerator and denominator. So, yung matitira, our final answer, 2n plus 3 over 4n plus 3. So dito, hindi natin pwede i-cancel yung 3 at saka 3 sa numerator and 3 sa denominator. Gawa may operation involved na plus. Pati yung 2n and 4n, hindi din pwede nating i-factor out at i-cancel because of the operation involved. Meron kasing plus sa kanyang silang dalawa. May operation na involved, kaya hindi natin pwede siyang i-cancel. So, unless nasa sa loob siya ng isang open and close parenthesis. Matgaling!